What comes to your mind when you think of anything that could be called the home of art? To them, it is a place that not only welcomes their art form to stay, but also to flourish. Situated in the heart of Waterloo, Ontario, that beats with the rhythm of the Grand River flowing through, the Huether Hotel became home to jazz. Standing strong, the Huether Hotel holds a history of over 180 years. Marked as a historic site, the Adlis family itself has successfully managed and maintained the hotel like a treasure as we see today.
There was no wine or no liquors that was against the law. So people were able to make beer and they could sell beer. And then through the years, there was 12 different owners. My grandfather bought the hotel in 1953. When he bought the hotel in 1953, a 7-ounce glass of beer was 5 cents. So it's been 70 years now, and it's always been a family business. And over the years, we've made changes to the hotel as we needed to be as time grew on.
But there isn't any story without a few ups and downs.
Biggest challenges were in this business is to stay current. So you have to. My father always made changes, whether it be the furniture or come in on a Sunday and change the color of the walls, painting, cleaning up, making the customers interested. And then you always got to change your menu, and you got to watch your pricing, and it's so competitive. So you grow with people, with the industry and what's happening, and you have to always watch your competitors, because if you don't, then they say, well, okay, well, if you don't watch your competitors, then they're going to go there. And so you try to stay current all the time.
Dr. Stephen Priest, a passionate pianist, along with his jazz ensemble, stumbled upon this gym along the river and was welcomed with utmost support from the Adlis family.
For a little while, Stephen was actually our pianist in my group. And we used to talk, this goes back about 15 years actually, and we used to talk about how there's such a driving interest of jazz in the Kitchener-Waterloo area. What the place really needs is a dedicated jazz club. And I said to Stephen, well, you know, it needs two things. It needs a place and it needs the money. Well, it appears that he kept that in the back of his head, and he wound up and took a year sabbatical from his position teaching at Laurier, and spent that year in a sabbatical organizing what has become the jazz room here at the Huether Hotel and starting the Grand River Jazz Society, which is monumental and absolutely phenomenal. He made it happen. He found the room, and he found backers to get us going, interested parties who were very happy to become benefactors for this great idea. And I'll never forget the day that he sprung this whole place on me. One day he phoned me up and said, you know, I'd like to show you something. Can we meet for coffee someday? So we wound up, and Stephen and I, and also Lawrence McNaught, who's the programming director at the Registry Theatre in Kitchener, with whom we'd played a number of dates down at the Registry with the jazz group. And we met just across the street at the Princess Cafe. And we got chatting about, you know, this and that, just small talk to begin with. And Stephen said, Larry, do you remember what you said to me about what we need to do to get a dedicated jazz room going? We need a place and we need the money. He says, follow me. So we walked across the street from the Princess, walked into this room, and I just about wept. He says, welcome to the jazz room.
Partnership is a two-way road, and this one starting since 2012, has stood strong for over a decade now.
So Stephen Priest came in with 2 or 3 other gentlemen, and we chatted about what he wanted to do. So once we established what we were going to go do, then we started putting stuff on paper. And see this stage here that we built? So they wanted to create a cozy room with really good entertainment. So the thing about having a space where you buy tickets and there's a certain entertainer that you want to come and see, it's a destination.
Don't you worry about a Don't you worry about a Don't you worry about
The jazz room began, 13 years ago, 14 years ago last fall. And I had the very great luck to be the first group asked to play here opening night when we opened up the club that very special night. And I'll never forget it. It was packed and it was an absolute party. We just had, it was a September night, and forgive me if I forget the year right now, but it was absolutely magical. I pinch myself every time I come in here and see the room filled and the artists that come here to play on this stage that are so supportive. Before the jazz room, there was no Grand River Jazz Society. It became because it had a venue and a purpose, which was the jazz room here.
They have a passion for their music, and they get the entertainers in here, and we don't charge them for the space, and we just have the food and drink. So it's very good. It's a good partnership.
So the other thing we have going on here at the Jazz Room that's been very successful is what we call our jazz jams that happen on Saturday afternoons, several Saturdays throughout the season, where we provide a rhythm section to play, and anyone who has an instrument and plays an instrument and wants to either hone their skills that they already have or learn more and learn how to improvise are welcome to come and sit in with the rhythm section. We provide music. The standard book of tunes is called the Real Book, and we have the Real Book available in all keys for players to come in and sit in with a professional or semi-professional rhythm section and learn. And that's been huge in helping to create that partnership between students who are still learning and then the pros that they'll see that very night.
The jazz room is never disappointing. The jazz room, it doesn't matter if it's a younger entertainers, if they're older. The thing about the jazz room is whatever they have to offer, you're never disappointing. It's always a great place to come to and to watch the and maybe some jazz is not to your liking, but they do a good job.